All right. Good afternoon, guys. Hope you're doing well. If you're online, hopefully you can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay. All right. Standard questions. Have you guys been doing homework?
Yeah.
Second, have you registered for the April test? If you're taking the April test, have you registered is a question. If not, I would not delay it any further. Uh, what else? I did send you the question Blake had asked a couple of weeks back about the question on the math problem. I hope you guys all saw that on the WhatsApp group. I thought it was a good problem, and I did it completely different method. So I just wanted you guys to see the mindset of the problem. Um, we're gonna start with science today. Okay. So I know you guys had asked me some questions to work on, so we'll get to that again. So what I did today was I bring both the copies, so we can don't have to fight. So how many have this the 22 23? One here, two. Okay, so we have not so many people have this. So okay, go to the same test we were doing last time. And you know, um, I'm not too worried about page number.
Yeah.
Kind of guessed that one. I actually had a sticky note. It fell off, I think. So, do you have the page number?
Oh, do you have it?
No.
Oh, it's 504, I think.
What's that?
504.
From the old book, right?
Yeah, from the old book. From the
Okay.
2020.
Yes.
Okay. And in the new book should be pretty close to it. At least I think so. Nope, that's not the one. 374 in the new book. So, and I do want to apologize for this. This never has happened before, but we didn't even realize that shit changed. And okay, we had done passage one, right? And what's the next other what's other passage you guys have done? I believe passage four.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did passage one and four. What are the next two we had selected?
6 and 3.
6 and 3. So 6 and 3. Okay. So we're gonna slowly shift now where I'm gonna be actually timing you guys, like in terms of, I'll tell you how much time you have, and you have to finish the test in that time, and the passage in that time. Go to passage 6, everybody. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions. And I know this passage kind of well. You have 5 minutes. You have to finish. Even if you run out of time, you have to blindly answer for the ones you couldn't. Your time starts now. Stay focused, guys. Time's up. How many are done with the test? I mean the passage. One. How many more questions are you left with?
3.
Okay.
Same.
For passage 6?
Three, four.
1.
One, I'm okay. How about you, Neelan?
2.
Lily?
1.
Elijah?
I have 2.
One or two. Two is also on the borderline, but anything about that time management, we need to start working on it. Okay? I'm gonna give you guys 2 more minutes to finish whatever questions you can. Your time starts now. 2 more minutes. Okay. Now, before we go to the answers on this, let's go to passage 1. And I know you guys had asked question number 1, 2, and 3. Who asked? Do you guys remember who asked question number 1?
On which passage?
Passage 1? No? Okay. Passage, question 2. Somebody asked these questions.
I probably asked.
Okay, let's go to question. If you have got it wrong, maybe you might have asked. So maybe next time onwards you could just put an M. That means you've asked Manoj, so that it's important for me to connect to that person. Based on the figure, the two individuals in which of the following pairs most likely will have the greatest genetic similarity across their genomes. So basically, what they are saying is which one will have the most similarity. As you know, if you and your sibling, right, from the same mom and dad, will have the most similarities, right? Common sense would say that. So if you can see 3 and 4, one has basically without trait, one is with trait. So that's, even though it's from the same offspring. 12 and 13, you can see both have without traits. Most likely that's the one. 16 and 24. 16 and 24 offspring of offspring, kind of hard to guess on that one. 18 and 21, for sure it's not. 12 and 13, because it's coming from the parent with 5 and 6. Okay? All right? Okay. Suppose that individual 23 and 24 have 4 biological children. Based on the figure, how many of the children, if any, have trait G? So what I did was, for 23 and 24, both have with trait G. I used 9 and 10 as a reference, right? 9 and 10, which had the trait, with the trait G, all offsprings had the same color, the dark circles, right? So all 4 should have the same concept, or same, basically, trait G. That's the logic I used. People kind of use it on their own. I have seen people use their logic on this one. I use the concept that 9 and 10 follows the same trend as 23 and 24. And I think that's a good way to connect to this problem. Okay. Now let's go to passage 6 answers first. I know we still have to work on passage 4. We'll get to that. Passage 6 answers. Ready? C, G, D. F, A, F. How many got all correct? One wrong. Three, 4. Questions?
36, 40.
Hold on.
Glad you were a number guy.
Yeah, thanks. 36, 40. Okay, what else?
39.
39. Okay.
38.
What's that?
38.
You know, actually, I was thinking at home for this particular class and group here, I may have to do a little change in strategy, and I will tell you what the strategy would be. And I've done this when I teach one-on-one quite a bit, but I may have to try with you guys for passage 6. So, what I would like to do now, before we move on to the next passage, students who got 36 wrong, okay? Try to do this problem again and see if you still don't get it. Try. People who got 36 wrong. And same applies to other students who got other questions wrong. Not that others should just put their hands on their heads and relax, right, Nick? You want to work on your questions, okay? I would like you guys to work on your questions now after knowing the answer and see if this still doesn't make sense. All right. Now tell me if you still are having questions. Let's start with 36. You gotta be honest. Somebody asked 36 just now.
I did, but it makes more sense now. I figured it out.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like to use this strategy going forward where I give it another option for you guys to push a little bit and see? Because in the real test, this is what might trigger between not getting correct and getting correct. A little bit more push. Of course, now you have the answer, so that might be easier, but maybe that will kind of create a momentum towards getting more answers correct, okay? See, if you don't like it, this is the first time I'm trying the strategy here in the class, okay? If you don't like it, just let me know. How about 38? Somebody asked 38.
I did that one too.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't lie. Don't be shy, okay? 39.
That makes more sense now.
Sure? Okay. 40.
It makes more sense.
Did anybody else ask, did you ask 39 too, Preston?
Yeah, I don't.
Still get it, okay. No, that's what I want to know. How about 40?
I understand it.
Okay. Now, is there any questions after this round of discussions? Do you want me to still do? Of course, I want to do 39. Yeah.
Could you do 37? I guessed on 37. I got it right. So
But did you work on it?
did I work on it?
Yeah, again.
I didn't work on it again. No, not again.
Okay, go ahead and work on it. Go to work on 37. Just, I want to see if this makes a difference, okay? Of course, this passage is pretty bad for me because I teach this material in college, so it's kind of sometimes becomes really hard to like. Sometimes I wonder like why are students having difficulty when I have that biased situation myself. But I was actually just grading this in the. I teach for Eastern Iowa Community College still online. I was just grading this. Do you have questions on 37?
No, I understand it. There's a lot of these where like I just learned this in chemistry and it wasn't registering. Now that I look back at it, it's makes sense.
So I'll be working on 39. Now let's go to passage 4. I know you had a lot of questions for me, and by the way, I had to tell you, if you didn't do well in passage 4, it would have really hurt you because it has very high negative fudge factor. Okay? Who asked me 21?
I might have.
Okay. In which study, if any, was a door with the greatest mass tested? In study 1, in the first line, it says 61 pounds. In study 1, at the bottom page. Okay. In study 2, in the graph, it says 51 pounds, 61 pounds, and 76 pounds. In graph, in figure 2, it says 51, 61, 76. In study 3, it's back in the line, it says 61 pounds again. So in study 2, you had the highest mass tested. Do you see that?
Yeah.
That actually would hurt you a lot because it has a very high negative fetch factor. Okay. Question number 1 in each passage usually tend to have the highest negative fetch factors. Tend to. Okay. 22.
I could have asked that.
Okay. Which of the following statements regarding weight and D, distance, best describes the difference between study 2 and study 3? In study 2, here's the question. Okay, so in study 2, D is constant, W got changed. In study 3, W is constant and D got changed. So in F, W was varied in study 2, but D was held constant, whereas in study 3, W was held constant while D was varied. 23. And I'll tell you all these questions in passage 4 are just below the normal line. So all of them have a degree of negative fudge factors. Okay, degree of. 23.
I think that was me.
If a door having weight of 90 pounds, D of 30 inches, and S of 50 inches had been tested in study 2, FH average for this door would most likely have been. This is a great example of extrapolations, okay? Now look at the graph 2. It says 76, 61, and 51. So 90 would be above. So I would draw the same curve for 90 using the same trend. Are you with me? And then the S is 50, so I'll draw a vertical line for 50 and see if it meets somewhere. I think it has to meet above 45. Do you see that? And this is how I would be doing in the real test. Look at, I don't know if you can see my notes. This is exactly how I would do my real test. I write a lot and this is why I always practice with you guys. When you take a passage, I take a passage. Okay? Because I just want you guys to know, if you do anything else, you actually took a chance. If you didn't do the vertical line, you made a mistake. Takes 1 second, but that guarantees my answer. 24.
Could have been me.
Okay. For the door tested in study 1, when S was less than 30 inches, so what I did was I drew a straight line again, vertical straight line for 30 inches. Okay? Was FH average, which is the flat kind of line, less than FV average or greater than FV average, and when S was greater than 30 inches was FH, you get the point of reading the question. When you draw the vertical line below 30, FH average was greater. Above 30, FH average was less. H. Did you draw the vertical line when you did the problem?
Not when I did the problem.
Yeah. You gotta get hands dirty in science in terms of, even in math. I've seen people write 1 or 2 things. I would be doing things. The reason I took that picture and sent it to you guys in the WhatsApp on that problem was, of course, not that I would have done all those steps, but pretty close to it. Because how would you get to the answer otherwise? It's not like you can just skip. Okay, you don't have to write an equation and all these things, but pretty close to it. Pretty close to it, you got to. So otherwise, you're going to make a mistake. 25. 26. Okay. In study 1, which average force, FH average or FV average, was independent of S? Well, look at study 1. FH average was almost a flat line in figure 1. So FH average, because S increased, FV average remained constant, like a flat line. I actually got to that one very quick because
I honestly just forgot which one meant independent.
it didn't change. Yeah. 27.
Me.
Suppose that due to a manufacturing defect, a particular pair of hinges will break when a net force greater than 57 pounds is exerted on each hinge. Based on study 3, so I'm study 3, the hinges will most likely break if used on a 61-pound door with which of the following combinations? That's exactly I did. I took a 57 line and drew a horizontal line. Of course, I had to approximate what 57 is. And when I drew a line, it touched the 36-inch line curve. So it has to be 36-inch curve. and it has to be less than 20 or less than 30 actually, something like that. But it cannot be 70 for sure. 70 is way down. So one of the things might be useful for you both is when you're doing a science test, get your bodily more involved in terms of writing and just not scanning through it. Eyes may not help. Eye hand coordination may help. Okay. All right. You guys with me? Everybody has different strategies. What is work? Make sure you do what is best for you. But I can tell you, if you don't underline keywords, if you don't write things, extrapolation lines, you're gonna make mistakes. So we did passage 1, 4, 6. What's the next one? Was it 3? Okay, passage 3 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Based on how you guys did passage 6, I'm gonna actually give a little bit more time. I'm gonna give you guys 6 minutes. You must finish in 6 minutes, otherwise you're gonna won't finish the test on time. Your time starts now. Time's up. How many are done with the test? Passage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One question left. Go ahead and finish those. All right, let's go to question number 39 first, passage 6. All right, based on tables 1 and 2, atomic nuclei are made up of which type of quarks? Now, we know that the nuclei is made up of protons and neutrons. And in table 2, protons have UUD quarks. That's the up-up-down quarks. And neutron is the up-down-down quarks. Preston, do you see that on table 2? So it is made up of U and D only. Can you tell me what happened?
I didn't read all the baryons.
Okay. All right. We go to passage 3 answers. HAF. DFC. J. Did anybody get it all correct? One wrong. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 4. Okay. Questions?
14,
18.
Okay.
19.
Go ahead and start working on those. We'll use the same strategy and see if it keep helping. What questions did you say? 14 and what?
18.
19 and 20.
All right, I have a question. Do you read the paragraph first?
Yeah, I knew it talked about temperature. That's why I said F, because I didn't remember reading the other ones. And I only had, it was the last question that I didn't get.
Which question did you make mistake on?
19, but it's just because I don't have enough time to do the math. I wasn't thinking. I kind of just guessed.
Okay, now tell me how you guys feeling about those questions? Better? So help me out here. When you're doing the passage, those questions, what is going through your mind? What's mindset? Are you desperate for an answer, or is the answer naturally coming because you're understanding the passage? What is happening?
I think it's more desperate for me.
Yeah, and I could see that. When you start making bunch of mistakes in science, it's more of a somehow I want to get to an answer so I can move on instead of okay, let's find the logical way to get it, and can be only be done by sheer practice. And you're gonna have to do a little bit more passage to get to that comfort zone. And don't be desperate. Remember, you're not going. You'll have to take more than once anyway. Science, real ACT test. So don't go. We had a student I work with. I'm working with her actually. She's from Kansas, and first time she took the test, she's like, Manoj, I want to be done with this. This is my first and last chance. I said, okay, well that's an ideal for everybody. I don't think so. I've ever heard a student, hey, I want to take it 2 times. No, but you're putting so much pressure on you, and it really turned out to be that way. She bombed the test. She used to get around 30, 31 in the practice test. She got 24 because the pressure. Then I told her to just relax. I said, told you before, just don't worry about results. Don't worry about the journey, the process. She got a 29, 5-point jump in one from so. So I always tell if you're forcing yourself to get an answer, you're gonna make more mistakes than what it is. So, okay. Now, do you have any questions?
14. And then I still couldn't find 20.
Okay. What's the next two passage? What's after we do this?
2. And then 5.
2 and 5. Okay. All right, this time for sure I'm not gonna give more time. You better be done with it. 6 minutes, because you gotta put pressure on yourself, right? This is what's gonna happen. You have no choice. Go, 6 minutes. All right. Let's go to question number 14 and 19 of the passage 3. Okay. The researchers, the researchers who conducted the study most likely chose to conduct it during the summer rather than during the winter because organic matter in soil is broken down. Now, in both experiments, in the aerobic and anaerobic, digestions processes they're using here, they need to produce CO2 or CH4. Am I right? So if they do it in winter, it'll be considerably slower. So that's the reason they did it in summer, because as you know, in summer, as the temperature increases, the rate of chemical reaction increases. Now, you may counter me in saying that should I know this information? There is a certain baseline minimum expectation, like to know that the nucleus contains protons and neutrons. Those are the bare knowledge. So they would not throw this question away. Okay, so what I call them is, if it is taught in the middle school, expect you to have that as a pre-knowledge requirement. Anything in high school usually is not a requirement. But in life sciences, the biosciences, you learn all these things. You're supposed to learn this. Yeah. 20. The study was conducted at an outdoor site near the wetlands, and I actually had some trouble finding this answer, actually. And to ensure that the tanks would be nearly identical to the wetlands with respect to which of the following. But in study, under the study first paragraph, each section was placed in a separate 100-liter tank having sides and a lid made entirely of glass. And if you continue, an instrument to measure gas emissions was mounted on the underside of the lid above the soil. All the tanks were placed at an outdoor site near the wetlands so that they all are exposed to equal amount of sunlight. Yeah. If I had not seen that, I would not have been able to answer it. Even though I could eliminate amount of precipitation, was definitely because it's a closed container, so it doesn't matter. So, and they had 100-liter capacities. So. Passage 2 answers. Laila, I know you just joined. Make sure to watch this video and complete all the passages what we have done, okay? Just do a thumbs up so I know. Okay, good. Because this is a pretty important one. Passage 2, AGA, HBG, D. Did anybody get, excuse me, did anybody get all correct? 1. Good, ready. 2, Neelan, good. 1 wrong. 1, 2. You keep making one mistake. You don't have to. Okay. Questions? Start working on them. Same concept. Okay, questions?
How do you determine match for number 10.
Okay, I need to know the question. For any group, the values shown in figure 1% of flowers that produced fruit was most likely good. Okay, so number of flowers producing fruit divided by total number of flowers.
I looked at figure 2.
There's nothing I can do, Ariana. Again, this is a. Remember, I sent a video. You guys watched it, so that video you guys watched at home has given me a lot more time to discuss like this. As I said, this is the first time we have done that. Otherwise, usually it's like, okay, we keep moving. We don't have time to give. That's why I'm gonna make that strategy. I think I'm liking this strategy. You guys get that comfort zone that okay, now you need to know how to get more questions right. Sounds good? We got to get more practice for you guys. Okay? Time is ticking. We have a couple more months left for the test. Again, I can't stress this. Whether you like it or not, this is the most important exam in K through 12 system you're gonna take. Period. I'll see you guys next week. Another big week. Next Sunday is gonna be another big class for you guys. See you later. Recovery is here. Online students just hang in tight. Bye-bye.
No, on question 3, it's D because it's